Stagecoach Midlands time in the West Midlands is up, excluding Coventry and Warwickshire. So today, we're revisiting Stagecoach's West Midlands network for one final time before their final two routes are handed over to Diamond Bus and National Express on November 1st, 2025. A mix of classic runs, revised routes and buses which have served the region throughout the last few years. Before we take a look at each route, let's talk about some of the services that have made up Stagecoach's network around Solihull and the West Midlands. The 41 has been one of the key cross-city routes linking the Queen Elizabeth Hospital with Heartlands Hospital via Acocks Green, taking over parts of the old National Express 1A and the 36. Then there's the 46, which ran between the QE Hospital and King's Heath, even having a short-lived variant, the 46A, to Hawksley. Both were eventually replaced by the extended 48 and the new X20. The 71 was a Sunday-only tender running from Chelmsford Wood to Sutton Coldfield, one of those quiet but important routes that keep the network connected when the main services don't run. Sadly, I do not have any videos of the 71 while it was run by Stagecoach. We also have the A9, originally Landflight's link between Solihull and Blythe Valley, later combined with National Express's old 58 to create the version we all know today between Kingshurst and Solihull. In fact, the A9 originally was the S9 run by National Express, then later on transferred to Landflight. And finally, there was the 169, which started as Diamond Bus's 69 between Solihull and King's Heath before Stagecoach took the tender over and it was renumbered by Transport for West Midlands. That one's now been replaced by the extended National Express 27. Together, these routes show just how much the area's bus network has evolved and how Stagecoach's short time here helped shape its modern layout as we know it today. Our journey begins here at Yardley Swan on the 18th of October 2025, with an Enviro 200 working the A9 towards Solihull. This route has an interesting past. It originally operated as Landflight and Travel West Midlands S9 between Solihull and Blythe Valley Park, before merging with the National Express 58 between Solihull and Kingshurst. Stagecoach later took on the tender, which combined the two, creating the version we know and love today. The A9 provides a vital link between Kingshurst and Solihull, serving busy areas such as Yardley and Linden. However, come January, the A9 will be renumbered as the 98 and 99, operated by Diamond Bus, also known as Retala. It's one of several changes marking the end of Stagecoach's short but memorable run in the region, of course excluding Coventry. Anyways, back to the ride. I hope you enjoy this clip of Stagecoach Rugby's ADO Enviro 200 36947. With Stagecoach Midlands soon to depart from the West Midlands bus scene, scenes like this won't be around for much longer. The Enviro 200s have become a familiar sight, simple, reliable and recognisable across the West Midlands network.
Next stop, Solihull Hospital.
A few moments later.
Next stop, Alston Road, for Heartlands Hospital.
As we approach Heartlands Hospital, that wraps up the 73, currently a national express route between Heartlands Hospital and Solihull. From January, it will be renumbered as the 98 and 99 under Diamond Bus. Next up, the 41 to the QE Hospital. This route has its roots in the old National Express 1A between Acocks Green and the QE Hospital, as well as the 36 between Sparkbrook and Heartlands Hospital, which ran through Acocks Green. Stagecoach took on the tender of today's 41, which was a merger of those two routes from TfWM, providing a thorough service across the city. It's a long cross-city run, passing through some of Birmingham's busiest areas, a route that has quietly served commuters, students and hospital staff every day. But change is coming here too. From November, National Express will take over, extending the service to Buckland End from Heartlands Hospital. Initially, the 41 was an Acocks Green garage route from National Express. However, Stagecoach Rugby ended up accepting the tender. However, ironically, it is now returning back to Acocks Green Depot. To get from the end of the 41 over to Solihull, for my next ride on the A9, I had to jump on the 76. And yep, it was one of those BYD Enviro 400 City EVs. Honestly, I'm not a fan. These things are complete sheds compared to their older diesel counterparts. It rattled its way across Birmingham, but at least it got me to Solihull in one piece, ready to carry on with the A9.
One eternity later.
After returning to Solihull, I planned to catch the hourly A9 to Blythe Valley Park, one of the quieter but more scenic stretches of the route. It's a great reminder of how this line connects Solihull's business parks and outer estates, continuing Landflight's original purpose for the route. This part of the A9 route, which I have shown, is the hourly service to Blythe Valley Park. This would have originally been the Landflight ran A9 between Solihull and Blythe Valley. However, this section of the route will cease to exist when Diamond take over the route in November. Then in January, it will be renumbered along with the 73 to the 98 and the 99. With Stagecoach's familiar interiors and that classic startup sound, this was a fitting way to close the day. Soon, these vehicles will be reassigned to Rugby's local routes and the 85 and 25 routes in Coventry. Those are moving from National Express Coventry to Stagecoach's Rugby depot. This will be marking the end of another chapter in the West Midlands bus scene. Before we wrap up, let's take a look back at some of the other Stagecoach routes which have already disappeared from the network. These clips are from the 19th of July 2025, when I rode the 46A and the 169, both routes now consigned to history. The 46 was one of the original Stagecoach services in the area, running from the QE Hospital through Hawksley, then to King's Heath. There was even a short-lived 46A variant which ran the same route but finished at Hawksley. Both services were later withdrawn and replaced by an extended National Express 48 and the new X20 route. It's so strange to look back now. The 46 was one of the first Stagecoach routes which I filmed, and one of the first to disappear. The 169. Another route which didn't last long was the 169, running between Solihull Station and King's Heath. Originally operated by Diamond Buses 69, it became part of Stagecoach's takeover and was renumbered. That service too has since gone, replaced by an extended National Express 27. Just like for 46, it's a reminder of how quickly things have changed in the Solihull and South Birmingham bus scene. Unfortunately, I never actually got the chance to ride or photograph the 71 myself, so this photo, kindly shared by my friend, is the closest that I've got. The route runs between Chelmsford Wood and Sutton Coldfield, and Stagecoach only operated the Sunday and Bank Holidays service for a short time, from January 2023 until October that year. After that, Solus Travel briefly took over before National Express returned to running it. November 1st, 2025. It might have just looked like an ordinary evening run, but for enthusiasts, this was a moment in history. After this trip, Stagecoach officially handed over the 41 back to National Express and the A9 to Diamond, closing a short but memorable chapter in West Midlands bus history. So that's it, the end of Stagecoach running in the West Midlands. From the 46 to the 46A, the 169 to the A9, and the 71 to the 41, these routes told the story of a brief but fascinating era. Thanks for watching the bus scene with Matt. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for many more West Midlands bus journeys.